Kia ora koutou, no mai, hara mai. Welcome to those who've just joined us. Now we'll open with a karakia. Mauri ora kia mātou, arahina mātou ia mātou mahi. Ki mihia he huarahi mō te kaupapa o te mātou rangahangarau. Āwhina atu, āwhina mai, te pou e here nei ia mātou. Hui e tai kie. Kia pai. So it's great to see everyone again. No mai, hara mai, welcome. I'm going to actually start off a little bit before I hand over to the lovely Isabel. And what I will do is I will share with you how to buy the hospitality package. The link is tenz.org.nz, and then you can just click on hospitality. I'll chuck that in the chat. Right. So on the hospitality page, I click on buy now. It's gone live, so I won't complete the process, but I just jump in here and I go, okay, well, do I want to purchase 1 year to suss it out? Do I want to purchase an annual subscription? I can choose that if I want it to automatically renew. But if I change my mind at any point, I can do that, right? So I'll go in, I'll go in with an annual subscription. Why not? I already have access. Okay, so you can see it's gone live. If I don't have access, and what I can do is I will start an incognito tab to do that, and then it will tell me I need to be a member, right? So actually, I may not be able to step you through that too well. If you are a TENZ member, you click on buy now. And it's a nice little form. It doesn't ask you for too many details. And as soon as you click buy now, you get email information sent to you. And you get to go and join in with the TENZ Ako group. There are a whole bunch of other communities. And you can view and subscribe to any of the communities. This is the one that the $250 gets you into. So in here, there will be a discussion where you can let us know, please, is anything confusing, hard to access, is anything great, and you'd like to see more of it. And likewise, we'll tell you what we're doing currently and what our next steps are. Okay, so the other thing that you can do in there is to let us know, are there any specific standards you'd like us to work on next? Okay, other than that, the structure of the standards that we're sharing with you, we've tried to keep it nice and clear and consistent so that you can just at a glance have a little look through and go, right, there's level 1, right? There are 1, 2, 3, 4 unit standards that are currently pending. So they're going through the moderation process. And then there are 6, I think, that have been approved, right? And so in each of those 6 folders, you will find the NZQA unit standard. You'll find a student assessment digital version that can be used by students on their device. Basically, it's a PowerPoint. And so you could use that in your Google Classroom, or you could use it in other locally, or through Teams. Right, you then have a printable, a PDF, and you have your teacher assessment guide. All right, and we've just followed that structure with each of them. So if you click on the pending, the only thing you'll find in there is NZQA sheet currently. Once we change the name and it's been approved, you will see all 4 of the files. All right, and you can download them individually or download the folder. Right, I did that earlier. Right, and so I have in my documents, I have my level 1, right, that we could look at, right? Although I have decided that the lovely Isabel will talk us through what each of these 4 files are like. So at this point, I will stop sharing and hand over to you, Isabel.
Oh, thanks for that, Ruth. And also, you guys, if you've got any questions, you can chuck them in the chat, or if there's a specific unit that you want to have an explore through now, we can do that. Otherwise, I can just pick some random ones. Maybe we could have a look at like 167 or something like that. I know people quite often have that as a main one. I'll just share my screen. So if you could keep an eye on the chat, Ruth, because I can't see it at the moment. Cool. So yeah, so just so you guys know, so what we're putting forward here are just the assessment resources. So these are going to be really, really useful if you're someone that's been teaching hospitality for a while and you already have a lot of your own materials, maybe things already set up on a Google Classroom, and you're not wanting to purchase other workbooks and things like that and assessments. So you'll be able to just pay once for this, download it, use it for as many students as you've got, and have that for the whole year. So this is what Ruth was just showing you before. So I'll just go into level 2, 167. You'll see we've got the printable and the tag here. The digital ones we're just still uploading. They're exactly the same, except in terms of it being a PowerPoint, we've just made the slides. Sorry, I've just lost my download. We have just made the slides a photo in the background, so your students would be able to put a text box over the top, like open it up in Slides or PowerPoint, put a text box over the top, and then edit that. So this is the sort of format that they have. So we've tried to make it so you only have to put the student's name and your name once instead of putting it on like 5 or 6 pages, which we have on some of the other versions of these. We've got our Kaya core instructions. Oh, yes, Ruth.
Just checking, are you looking at the PDFs with us now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I can only see the place where you downloaded it from. Could you reshare?
Yes. Let me just check that. That's not. Sorry, so can you see that now? Yeah, cool. Thanks for that. I'm not super haven't done this a lot of times before, like with the sharing screen and stuff. So this is the front page for 167. Yeah, you'll be able to see you put the student name and then your name. That's the only time you have to put those in the whole assessment, which is great. Page 2, we've just got our Kaya core notes. So that just runs through a lot of the information that comes through from the standard itself. It's got any ranges and things like that on there. We've got the instructions for the student and just a section 1, 2, 3 finished, not finished box, which they can mark or you can mark. And then a bit of a breakdown about the first part, which is for this one, the theory. We've tried to really, especially on this one, pull back on the number of questions in terms of the theory part. So we've just made it what we needed to have in terms of meeting the criteria without anything extra. So we've got the dealing with sickness, personal habits, work habits, preventing pests, and critical temperatures. The only difference with the digital one is it won't have the ruled lines on it. So they'll just be empty. Your students will just be able to draw a text box over the top and type on it. They won't be able to change any of the questions or get into any of that text. So that's the whole written part, 4 questions. We've then got our practical observation. Again, we've tried to simplify these so that you have to write as little comments as possible, because we know that that's quite time consuming. Again, you don't have to put the student's name on here again. You don't have to put your name on here again. You're just running through the checklists. We've left a space for you to add your photos in. So that's just a repeat of the observation because you're doing it twice. We've got our temperature log. We've left dates off this so that if you wanted to, you could do this as one lesson. If you wanted to space it out over a whole lot of lessons, you can, just depending on how you want to teach it. A space there if you want to have photos of the student taking the temperature, the student declaration, and then the sign off for you. So you're just going through and dating. You'll see that there's a teacher comment space, but only if they're not yet achieved. So if they've achieved that section on the first go, you do not need to write a comment. You're just dating it, and then you're just signing it off at the bottom. Anything else you guys wanted to look through or have a chat about, or do you have any questions about stuff? I can go back to the forum page so you can have a look through maybe some of the other standards that we've got. So the ones that we ended up working on were what after our survey, the ones that were the most popular. The ones pending have been sent to Ringahora. They should be back before we start back at work in the next week or so. So that's all of our level 1s, or most of our level 2s are back, just the last couple. And level 3, we don't have anything uploaded yet. We're still just working through those. I've sent 2 away for pre-moderation this week, and I'll probably send another couple. So we should be able to get some of those up before school starts back as well.
We've got a question. Can you just show us a digital one and how the text box works, please? Just so I'm sure I 100% understand.
Yes, let me find one that we've got digital. Okay, so this is for a level 1. I'll just download that and then I can open it up, and I'll remember to change my format over too. It might take a second because it's probably going to try and open up. Yeah, actually on PowerPoint. I don't really use that. I use slides, but that's okay.
Okay, and while we're downloading to have a look at how the text box works, we've got another question. So a teacher will go onto their student's digital file and write comments and sign off, then download for moderation.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would just download it for moderation and then send it off as a digital file. Yeah. So can you guys see that screen now with the fruit and vegetables? Yeah, cool. So if I had given this to a student, they would be reading through these. We would get down to, say, here, which is the first question. They would be able to, actually, I'm going to open this in slides because I don't, I'm not signed into Microsoft 360. So just give me 1 second. Okay, so this is that same one. Right, so if I was the student, I'd open this up, I'd come up to this part, and I'd just write a text box here, and then I'd be able to type in my answer. So for strawberries. No bruises. And then I can just do the same on the next one. So I would just go through that way. If it's the printable one, it would have the ruled lines in it and I would just handwrite it in. Does that answer that question for that person?
Well, I know I found that nice to follow. Please do check in if there are any follow-up questions from that. And we had addressed Nicola's question about downloading for moderation. And I suppose the teachers could actually also have the students give all their input and then print it and write their comments and sign off, etc.
You could if you wanted to, yeah. I mean, most of the time when we're doing the moderation for Rangahora, it's digital, so it's probably easier just to keep it in digital. Yeah.
Yeah, and then the next question was price per student. Is it per standard or for the year? I have $20 in my head, but unsure. It's $250 all up. And so that's for any of the standards that we have and for as many students as you have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we've got a comment in there from Catherine that $20 is the other new option, education. This works out less. I suppose it would work out less if you have smaller classes.
Yeah, and if you're not printing, I know if you were printing everything out, like depending on your school, you might have a budget for printing. You might want to negotiate maybe with management, if you're saying, hey, I'm going to save $4 or $5 grand on purchasing workbooks and assessments. You might ask for an extra couple of $100 to print out these ones or something like that. It's still a pretty good savings.
Bye. And there's a repeat of the, can you just show us a digital one?
Yeah.
Thanks, looks nice and easy. And great, thank you. Yes, the price for this is a flat rate of $250 for the year for however many students and however many standards that you are using.
If you guys want, we could potentially, like we've had a little look around. Oh, I'm going to show us. Yeah, I can show you some more stuff. We can also, if we feel like we've had a bit of a look, we can go off record and you guys can put your cameras on and we can just have a chat if you want to go through a few things, if that's easier than typing in the chat.
There are a couple of questions.
Okay. Yeah.
The standards you don't have that we may ask for, will these come next year depending on how many would like them?
Yeah, so depending, like myself and the other teachers that have been writing them, like we're all full-time teachers as well. So we will look at adding more throughout the year as our workload allows us. So definitely keen to keep adding to what we've got. And also once people start using these resources, we may find we need to make little tweaks. And so we'll be able to update those as well. Yeah. So just keep communicating on those forums and we can be pretty responsive to it.
Okay. And we've got a question, Rangahora happy for a digital signature?
We might have to check that. It hasn't come up in any of our conversations with them, but we could check that one. Yeah. They're happy for us to have the digital version, so presumably yes, but that's a good question and we can check that.
Cool. And then we've got a question, can you show us a workbook teacher's guide?
Yeah, I can show you a teacher's guide. We don't have workbooks, so we're not providing at this point any student learning material. So this is just the assessment resources. So you would be wanting to provide your own learning material, and then you're just having this as the assessment. But I can have a look at the teacher assessment guide. It's just a Google Doc and it will just run through all the things it needs to have. So it's got the standard number, the version, how many credits. It goes through some of the things you need to know, which comes from the unit standard usually. And if it's got any ranges, they'll be included in there. And then what evidence you need to see and the judgments, and then what part of the assessment they relate to. When it's a theory question, we've put in example answers. I know that's sometimes something that people want when you're trying to make those judgments. Some of them are from the student assessment, but if they're not in the student assessment, we've generally added in an example as well. So this one's just got the examples for the fruit and a vegetable. It's then got the information for the practical observation. Just again, running back through the range that you have to cover and the judgments. Most of them are pretty short, like this one.
Okay, and the only thing to add is in terms of the tags, we upload them as a PDF into the upper forum.
Yeah, they'll be in this, they'll look the same, but they'll just be a PDF. Yeah.
Okay, and so we had a follow-up to that question about Ringahora being happy for a digital signature, saying a last conversation with the moderator said that we could use a digital signature.
Oh, amazing. Oh, cool. Yeah.
So thank you. All right. Well, shall we stop sharing screen?
Yep.
I'll make a call out for any last questions, maybe that are more general. Has anyone had problems logging in? I mean, I was my demonstration of how to join hospitality was not the best, almost complete. Have there been any issues with that side of things? All right, cool. And we've got some comments coming in the chat. Perfect, thank you. These are amazing. Great to see the assessments. They look great. Thank you. I'm in a tiny school and we will still make savings even with small student numbers. It is the digital version that is the game changer for me. Yeah.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Definitely going to be doing the digital ones. Yeah.
Okay, so to look at a level 2 practical assessment, you can also click on level 2 and see the listing. We're going to go into baking, and then we're going to check out the student assessment printable. Right, just checking. I've got a brilliant short-term memory. It's just amazing. All right. All right, and then I open that up. And talk us through it.
Yeah. So this one actually does have one question, but most of the other ones don't. So this one has just got a little question about the baking ingredients, which is really short. They're just putting the words in the blue box down into the table. But if you scroll down to just the practical observation part, this one, because they've got 3 different baked items. So you'll see this first one is just for the cake. You've just got a tick box, a short comment, and a space to put your photo and the date. And then the same for the other 2. So your bread item, same thing, and your pastry item. So we could maybe have a look at, do you want to go to like frying or steaming or one of those ones?
Cool. Okay.
Yeah. Because you've got them all downloaded already, eh?
Yeah. So I just can't remember the numbers. Ha ha ha.
Oh, that's
so
okay.
Go 13275.
Yeah.
All right. 13275, and then we'll have a look.
Yeah, so this one will just have those parts, and then it's just got your observations. So same sort of layout, a little bit different. You've got your name of your dish, ticking if it's seafood or vegetables. This is for poaching. And yeah, and then your photo and the teacher sign off, and then another one because you've got to do 2 for that one, and then the student declaration, and then you just date and sign it. So we're trying to make what you as the teacher have to fill out pretty short, as short as we can get it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, because we do love your feedback, you're welcome to scan the QR code, go directly to go.tenz.org.nz. Our next slide is about an upcoming webinar, and I'm pretty sure you would be able to enter in solutions within hospitality and food tech. The Samsung Solve for Tomorrow competition. So we're talking about that with the lovely Sarah Washbrook and Julie Baker from Motat on the 29th. All right, so to close us off, I don't think teachers' work is ever finished. We will say it as though for now. And thank you all for joining us today. Kia mātou katoa, kua mutu mātou ia mātou mahi, ia mātou kaupapa hoki. Arahina mātou, kia kawe mātou ia mātou haipapa, kia whakatapua mātou ki ngā kaupapa me ngā mea e whakapono. Manaaki tia mai mātou.